It's today in EVE Online, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. It's Super Tuesday, and we will have a Super Tuesday special show later tonight. For now, let's talk about EVE Online. Okay, welcome back. We did have a first section of this show that ended up being taken over by real life as we talked about the COVID-19 virus that's out there and talking about politics in real life. Now let's get to some EVE news. Most of the stuff that I know right now about EVE Online has been in the north. There are some structures, keepstars, I think, that were being taken down by... Let's actually look at the timer board. There's an iHub. It doesn't have structures on it, does it? Anyway, Deckline is under attack. Ranger Regiment stuff that they were trying to extract. Some of it was abandoned. Some of it they were trying to extract, like the keepstars. Were attacked by NCPL, so I think they will actually end up being destroyed as opposed to taken down and moved out. In any case, the war is over in the north. I guess it's fair to say the war is over in the north, and now we're just having a settling and a reshuffling. The signs that the war was going against Dead Coalition might have happened 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. There was a pivotal moment where Fraternity joined in the fight and took over dominance in the Chinese time zone. And at that point, the combined powers of Ranger Regiment and Siberian Squad couldn't overcome that. The writing at that point was on the wall. And since then, it's been a retreat and collapse of Dead Coalition. And finally, last week, I think, Sword Dragon, the leader of Dead Coalition, said that they're pretty much over, and he's taking Darkness into a new direction. So the coalition itself is dead. Darkness, the home of Sword Dragon, the leader of Dead Coalition, it's not coming to mind what they decided to do, but I think they are going to try something else. I did have that note somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Well, anyway, more on that. We'll report on that on Sunday just to make it more official. By the way, if you haven't listened or watched last Sunday's show, I strongly recommend it. It is CCP Muppet Hunter and CCP Ratati. And it is the pathway of EVE Online's development. They really tell you a lot about their philosophy, their personal backgrounds, and the implementation of, I guess, Hilmar and Berger's vision on where EVE is going to go. And I think it gives you that much needed sense of where the game is going. And I think a lot of people like it. The scarcity of mineral resources, the ratcheting down of things to fight over, and a lot of the interesting things that are happening in the meta for ships. I think the rock, paper, scissors, where you have capital ships able to destroy, say, structures able to destroy subcapitals able to destroy capital ships, and something like that. That's just an example of like everything will have a weakness to something else, and that would be very interesting. So these are just some of the things that were talked about on last Sundays. Check it out. It's Muppet Hunter and Ratati at Talking In Station Sunday. And there was an additional interview on Declarations of War, which I recommend. So find that podcast, Declarations of War. We'll start carrying it on Talking In Stations. We don't carry it right now, but we will. And Declarations of War interviews Ratati in a very slow and methodical dive into the scarcity principles that they are looking into. So those two interviews together are a really good indication of where EVE is going. And I strongly recommend it for anyone who's interested in the development of EVE Online. Okay, let's take a look at kills. I was just looking at this, and I didn't see, there's some Trade Hub kills here, and it's a Wormhole, and Venal. Yeah, it's just War in the North winding down. There's a lot of stuff going on just below the War in the North that's happening like in Tenal and Branch and Deckline. Below that area on the map is Tribute and Vale of the Silent. And those areas have another group of multiple alliances fighting. And that's been that way since Goon Swarm wiped out the North and kind of made it an empty palette. So these small groups moved in and they fought amongst each other, but they are starting to coalesce into groups. And there's a couple coalitions that are forming there, minor coalitions, and they are picking sides. So you're starting to see that group of like independent states start to solidify a little bit, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I have that. I don't know if it's represented on the map yet. Let's have a look. And you can always check out the map by going to talkinginstations.com. And under SOV influence maps, SOV and influence maps, we have the coalition map, the alliance map, the faction warfare map. And we used to have a Serenity. This server is now down, so we should take that off. So don't pay attention to Serenity. That was the Chinese server, and it was different than the Tranquility server, which is European and American. But if we look at Alliance, well, actually here we go to Coalition map. It looks like it does reflect, whoa. Let's see if I can get in on this. Yeah, neutral states are in white. And Petco. I haven't heard of Petco. Sorry. Pure Blind Madness. Haven't heard of them either. So these are new names. I don't know where the names come from or who governs the naming or even the groupings. But you can see that it's no longer a lot of independent neutral states. That's still true. Well, actually, that's not true. It's Tribute and Vale still mostly independent. But if you look over at Pure Blind and Cloud Ring, Fade, these areas are now, they have like minor coalitions on there. I'm not familiar with who they might be. Let's actually go back and look at Alliance. That's the zoom I was expecting. Yeah, so I'm going to actually do some more research on this, but Rote Capel is in a little coalition there, and they are fighting. So I didn't write notes for this, but let's see if I can find them. Okay, so basically there's new coalitions up north, and this is from a friend. We're calling ourselves Combined Forces Coalition, or CFC for short. It's a little tongue-in-cheek for Clusterfuck Coalition. That was the coalition that Goonswarm led years and years and years ago. This is a new CFC. It's called Combined Forces Coalition, and that's what they're calling themselves. And it consists of Unspoken Alliance, Rote Capel, No Vacancies, and United Federation of Conifers. So that is the Combined Forces Coalition. Again, that's their name for it.
Wait, does No Vacancies hold SOV?
I don't know, but they're in this coalition, so maybe they will. Yeah, if the coalition is successful. I don't know.
That's interesting. I wonder if they're pulling out of C5 and C6 space then, or maybe they're just expanding their horizons and adding some.
Are they a Wormhole Corporation?
Yeah, they've been a Wormhole Corporation for a long time. They are one of the big 4 corporations in Wormhole space that you used to see on a regular basis, right up there with Hard Knocks and some other groups. Can't name off the top of my head because I haven't had my coffee yet.
Get your coffee. Right. So this new CFC has No Vacancies in it. And who are they fighting? They're mainly fighting Forsaken Empire and Reverberation Project, also known as FECHO or FECHO. I call it FECO or FECHO, however you want to say it. That is not what's reflected in this sovereignty map, so we'll have to talk to the people who actually name the coalitions and designate the space. Because they have Petco and Pure Blind Madness, and I just don't know where any of these names come from. The other thing that's different about this coalition map that's wrong, actually, and we'll try to correct it for whoever runs this, is that they have Mist and Fate. Well, basically they have Mango inside of Legacy, and that's not true. Mango is, or Army of Mango Alliance here is in yellow in Mist, and that is PIBC, Pan International Business Conglomerate or something, or Coalition. And that is totally different than Legacy. They are allied, but Army of Mango is not in Legacy, so that needs to be corrected. As you can see, Mist belongs to Army of Mango. On the Coalition map, Mist is blue, it's a Legacy blue, and that is incorrect. So a couple things need to be corrected here. So anyway, that's what's going on in the north. This new CFC fighting against Forsaken Empire and Reverberation Project, or FETCHO. There's a lot of fights in Vale and Tribute, mostly over iHubs and Arthanors. That's engineering complexes are being destroyed. So that's what's going on there. Quick look at videos for the day. And I'm seeing if I can recommend anything. I don't watch all these videos. I probably should so that I could recommend some. I did see this one come up, Eve Echo. That's an Eve Echo's video, yeah. Probably a good way for me to get news for the last 24 hours is to check Talking in Stations links. There is a channel called Your Eve Links, and that's for you, the public, to put down your links that are important about Eve Online. And as usual, this is where news goes. So you can see videos of fights and that sort of stuff. So we do have, as we recommended before, the Declarations of War interview with Ratati. Strongly recommend that podcast. It's called Romancing the Stones, featuring CCP Ratati. There's an update on eVegas 2020. That is still happening, despite virus error concerns. There's a Trigger Happy video on hunting Siberian Squad move ops, because Siberian Squad was part of Dead Coalition. They are now moving, and in the process, they are vulnerable to attack. And Trigger Happy is a group up north that is within striking distance and is capable of striking big targets and taking out their capital ships. So look out for that. Also, Dunk Dinkle, he is a CSM rep, and he is now with all the other CSM reps in Iceland. And they were talking about, this is the summit that's happening right now. We're actually maybe just wrapping up right now. It was, probably in the middle of it. I think it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So CSM is in Iceland at the summit, and Dunk Dinkle put together a presentation based on information that he got from a survey about industrial concerns and the changes that are coming. And so that you can see that on Twitter. You can follow the CSM's movements on Twitter. That's probably the best place to see it. That's where people will post pictures of the CSM and CCP dining together and some of the presentations they have. Obviously, they won't give you that much information. The information really won't come out until minutes, and even those will be redacted. Of course, they're doing all that to obscure Eve's development and features that are coming, because they don't want to spoil it, but also because they want people to react to these changes in real time so that it's fair for everybody. And but you can get clues. You can get clues by looking at Twitter and checking out what's happening at the summit, and by reading the minutes later on. All right, that is that. Yeah, Trigger Happy is active in the north. Just want to confirm that. And for now, that's all that I can see as far as activity. I'm going to go look one more place here. And that is our Eve. There's some news there. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes there's not, and sometimes it's hard to find. Looks like Provi Block's active. There is something going on in Provi Block. I'm not that familiar with it. We did talk to somebody. And by the way, thanks to everybody who writes me to kind of fill me in on certain things that are going on out there. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put all that together into one presentation because it just moves so fast. But I do appreciate it, and I will correct the record as often as I can. Okay. Yeah, that's it for today. I don't have anything else. Do you guys, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Interhell did complete their eviction of a Russian group known as Uncharted Spectrum. They, from what I could tell, they didn't actually put up a fight. I'm generating the BR right now. I'll give it to, which is not really a surprise because they did have dreads and a full fleet good to go. A bunch of stuff dropped, so they made off. I'm sure they made off, but like bandits, like they normally do with these evictions, with everything.
Yeah, Inner Hell is like chewing up other wormhole groups. That's been going on for a while and looks like it will continue.
And then they caught a today. This morning it looks like they caught a lifeboat on its way back in. I don't know. Maybe it was an accidental login or something. But it was posted on Praise Bob, which is the the Wormhole Discord, congregation Discord. That ended up dropping. I think that was like 12 to 15 bill in loot. It ended up popping because they were waiting for all their stuff to log back in to see if they could catch something.
Oh, interesting.
But there haven't been any humongous battles in Wormhole space over the past week.
Okay, so Xanthrid here says that Provi is getting involved in a war between Voltron and RC. Is that Red Coalition? Or I don't know what RC is. I should know. So that's probably what's going on there. Some decent fights apparently in Catch and Provi. And Seto, that's a FC from last year's war. He's an FC from Test. Wrecking Crew, right. That's right, Wrecking Crew. And I think Seto is a part of Wrecking Crew now, or he's working with them. So that's what's going on in Provi. That's why you're seeing some big fights, some kills there. To my hubs too. But yeah, so that's what's going on in Eve today. Again, tonight, if you want to hang out, we're going to talk Super Tuesday results. We'll usher them in. And that is all real life politics later on tonight. We're going to go ahead and stream for a little while, talk to some friends about politics. We'll see what's going on. For now, I want to say thanks for listening. We did do a special real life talk about the COVID-19 virus. Check that out on talking stations. We separated it out, so it'll be separate. Dirk McGurk is in the audience. Are you telling me you're not going to be here for Super Tuesday talk? Because without Dirk, it's not a party. Because I'm ready to stream it. Okay, and what we'll do is give you over to Bjorn B before we take off. That's all we have time for today. We will see you tomorrow in EVE Online. Oh, I see Dirk is saying don't mention it. Not everybody is welcome to participate. It's just something we might stream. That's what I was saying. Anyway, when we had the election in 2016, we actually got together. It was like 12 of us from all different walks of life, all different political parties. And we watched that election swing from what looked like Hillary Clinton over to Trump. And it was like, we were all in it together. It was a lot of fun. And ever since then, when England has an election or when the U.S. has an election, we usually get together and talk about it. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you guys later on.